Hello everyone, I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today, guys, we have Nabs on the channel. What's up, bro? How is it going? It's been a while since I had you on the channel.
Yeah, no, it's going great. You know, we're going to talk about some champions we regret today, but there's no regrets about being here.
No regrets, right? Like in that movie, you know, I'm gonna put it on my chest here and or on the forehead and just go with it.
Yep.
So you heard that right, guys. Today we're talking about regrets. Regrets either in a good way, either in a bad way, because nowadays you can have them both. So we're going to talk about champions that either we regret building and they really haven't done much for our accounts, or we're going to talk about champions that we built too late and we regret it because they're absolutely amazing. So we've done a collab on Nab's channel. I'm going to link it in the pinned comment. Head over and check it out. We are talking about the faction games, guys. We have the arena left on Monday or Tuesday. I can't really remember the day exactly, but it's gonna happen next week at some point. Stay tuned on that with the Jedi's channel. That's where the magic happens for the faction games. But Nabs, if you want to start with your first regret, bro, like what's your biggest regret out of these few champions that we have here on the list today?
Okay, well, let me start with one, a helpful one, a positive one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick Lady Annabelle from the Bannerlords.
Yep.
This is a champion that I totally slept on. Probably one of the champion I've arguably been most wrong about when they first came out. I was like, this champion sucks. There's two reasons why this champion has been added to the game, and none of it is to do with her skills. But
is
no,
it the look? Is it the look?
Yeah. But no, no, she's actually insanely good. I was reminded about her, you know, looking at coming into the faction games, potential factions to choose, and I was hoping to do the Hydra initially. I wasn't able to do it in the end. Saf's going to be doing that for us, but it's actually super rare to get champions that can do both increase speed and decrease speed in the same kit, and that's what Lady Annabelle can do. So for an epic champion, it's even rare for a legendary to be able to do both of those. So having that on an epic is absolutely insane. So that's really strong, number one. Then number two, her passive, where she heals 50% max HP when an ally or enemy dies. You know, you bring her into Bommel, and bam, those Bommel bombs explode, and it just heals her a ton of max HP. So she's really easy, probably one of the easiest ways to actually take down Bommel for people these days as well. So yeah, Lady Annabelle, I slept on her. I don't know about you, but like, yeah.
I'm actually using her on the Bommel, so.
Oh, wow.
Basically, I'm using a team with Newt and other champions that literally melt the boss to like down to like 25%, and then she's clearing the boss basically, you know. But she's there in the team. I've been running her for a while because what happens whenever I built a team for the Bommel, I always used to pinch gear from those champions for something else, and the team was always like now working when I was trying to do it 3 months later, and I was like, that's it, I'm gonna be Lady Annabelle, she's gonna do the job, you know. And then we got Newt, which is such a beast of a champion, right? And I had to add him to the team with another cheesy Acrisia, and they're just quickly melting the boss, and she's just clearing up after. But she's definitely a very solid epic champion, guys. And if you're pulling her, a regen set, if you can immortal next to it, if no, anything that will get you to over 230 speed. Make sure you have a speed lead and around 70 to 80k HP, 3+k defense. She's gonna get the job done for you on the Bommel without a problem. She is strong affinity too, which really helps her a lot. And she only has 500 reviews. So disappointing, actually. Crazy.
Yeah, I need to do like a proper build video of her on my channel at some point as well. It's on the list of stuff to do.
Yeah, she's solid, man. Yeah. Like definitely. And more people need to learn about Lady Annabelle, you know. Sweet. So I'm gonna move over to one of my regrets in here, and that's gonna be White Dryad Nia from the Sylvan Watchers. Man, she's such a beast of a champion. Now, I built her too late as well, you know, so I have one of those regrets. Again, only 500 reviews. Maybe not so many people got her yet, but she is absolutely amazing. Great for Hydra, great for a Spider, great for so many things in the game. Just generally an amazing epic champion. One of the best epics, in my opinion, in the entire game. With the A1, attacks all enemies a chance to land a decreased speed. The A2 is such a powerful skill for Hydra. Like, if you're trying to either cheese it with the Tranda, or trying to cheese the Hydra with some champions that deal a lot of damage, you know, maybe you're trying to use the Infinity comp now with Corpulent or something. This skill right here that decreases the cooldowns of a target ally by 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown is actually so damn good, because you can put this champion on a reflex, for example, and try to just use this skill, and it's kind of like doing the job of a Kymar basically on a specific champion, you know. Very, very nice. It's actually awesome. Then you have the ally protection, the strengthen, you have the passive, which gives you a bit of extra healing. Definitely a solid champion, and I've built her too late, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm actually in the exact same boat as you. Like, I think she was guaranteed twice.
I think so, actually.
Yeah, I skipped the first one. I was like, no, it'd be fine. And then the second one came around. I think I was doing a collab at YSC at the time, and he was like, "Dude, you gotta get White Dryad Nia." And I said, "You know, actually, yeah, you totally talked me into it. I should have her. This is crazy not to." So I went for the second guaranteed. I should have gone for it the first time, probably. But yeah, she's real. I used her in the faction games myself, and she was brilliant. Yeah, just a really, really strong champ.
100%. Very good base stats for an epic, right? 20k HP. Now, many epics have such a high HP and 1.3k defense at the same time, you know. So definitely very, very solid.
Yep.
What do you have next on your list of regrets here?
Yeah, let's go for a negative regret. Let's go for Fortus.
Fortus, nice. I like that one. I like that one. Where is he? Where is he hiding? Fortus.
He's a Knight's Revenant.
Knight's Revenant. Yeah, wait, it's not Shadowkin. I don't know why I went to the Shadow. I was thinking of Jingwan, actually. And YST, Jingwan.
Yeah.
That's why.
You're wise. You're lucky. You don't have this guy. Oh,
I know, right? I haven't went for the guaranteed. I was like, no, thank you. And thanks God, I haven't summoned him yet. And hopefully it's going to stay like that, you know?
Yeah, right. I'm still holding out for a buff at some point, because he's cool. Like, he's got that,
he looks awesome.
Badass. But it's you know, we've obviously been dumping on Plarium a lot recently, just the content creators in general. I still feel like Fortus is maybe the worst thing they've ever done, where they said, okay, bam, here he comes, guaranteed Fortus. He is going to be changed later in the week, but we're not going to tell you how we're going to change him. We're going to fix him, but we're not going to tell you how. So it was like, you got to spend, I think it was 80 void shards to get this champion. He might be good, he might not. Trust Plarium. So I went for it, being optimistic as I am. And then the fix came in, and it was rubbish. He's absolute trash. So he's just sitting in the vaults. He's a nice little 80 void shards, just guarding that vault, making it look pretty. So yeah, that's one. I'm like, man, I could be 80 void shards richer today if I didn't summon for this guy.
I'm sure they will rebalance him a bit at some point. The main issue is the fear, man. Like, the current meta for Arena, and it's not just necessarily in high platinum Arena, it's just generally like Stone Skin is everywhere now. It's spreaded, right? So I feel like it's so hard to play champions like this around. Just fear everywhere, you know. Accuracy, you want him to deal damage, you don't want him to deal damage. I feel like it's pretty hard to get the most out of these champions, because they're creating so many weird kits, right? Like, the champion needs to be damaged, needs to have accuracy, needs to have survivability, and you're like, my God, Plarium, I cannot build this, my gear doesn't allow me, you know. And you're gonna have to basically cripple one of the things that he does, either go full damage, either go full accuracy, and you're losing the damage. So it makes it so hard with some of them to decide on how you want to build him, and it's so hard when you need to bring other champions to enable him, you know, because that doesn't make the champion strong anymore, because he counts on somebody else, you know. So if you eliminate the other champion out of the equation, like, he's not as good anymore, you know. So it's pretty weird, yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. Now I'm gonna go with the regret as well. Fire Knight hard mode coming out. Skratch got all excited. He made his research. Then he went in and he was like, okay, we have these champions coming. Oh, wow. Freeze. Oh, my God. Shirimani. Wow. And Skratch built Shirimani. And guess what? She sucks, okay? So let me just put it out there. She used to be great for Faction Wars 4 years ago, you know, when they introduced the Faction Wars. She was good crowd control for the high elves. But I haven't seen her shining since, you know. And basically, I got excited for the Fire Knight, man. And I've seen this skill attacks 3 times at random. 25% chance to land the freeze. And I was like, wow, this is going to be awesome. You have the healing, you're gonna be spot on, you have AoE, you have the freeze in there. She's gonna do an amazing job. And then when you try her, this skill right here actually only lands the freeze with one of the random hits, you know? So only one of them actually has the chance to land the freeze. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? Like, and then is in the coding like that. So it's super weird and such a disappointment. I'm curious to see the reviews actually. So it seems like she has fairly decent reviews. I would definitely dropped them quite a bit.
Yeah,
Especially in arena and campaign and all these locations, you know.
Yeah. I guess it's like early game. I guess she's good, but no, totally not.
Yeah, because
late
you're getting
game.
the healing.
Right. Yeah, and she was buffed as well, and it's still not great. Still not great.
Nope. It's just the cooldowns are still long. The A1 doesn't have enough firepower to land the freeze, you know. So yeah, this is one of my regrets, guys, you know. Sorry if I made you build her as well, you know. Sorry.
Dude, I don't actually have her, but I mean, if I did have her, I probably would have done the exact same thing. I would have been like, yeah, this is fire hard. Let's go, baby. Straight back in the ball. Let's get back in there. All right, one for me. Next up, I'm gonna go with Crimson Helm. This is my most hated champion in the game.
Okay.
We talked about Lady Annabelle for Bommel and how it's beautiful. It works super well. It's clean. It's easy. Skratch, even you're using it, Skratch. Crimson Helm, I built up as this Bommel solo champion. If anyone has ever tried it, number one, it's very difficult to gear it properly. And like I was relying on, she had to land the killing blow on some of the dudes in the wave to get the mastery, to give her more speed and all the. Oh my god, it was a misery getting to the boss. But then fighting the boss, it's like 20 minutes straight of pure manual play. And if you make one mistake, bam, you wipe and you're gone. So yeah, I tried this for multiple hours with this champion. And eventually I just said, you know what? Screw this. Like, it's not worth it, man. Screw Doom Tower. I'm done. I'm out. I'll come back in like 3 months' time with something else. It's not worth the pain. So I just gave up. I was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth the pain.
I don't blame you, actually. You know why? Because I wanted to do a guide on this. And then I heard that it's all manual. And I knew how hard it is because I've heard it from different people. And I was like, yeah, I'm never going to do that, guys. So whenever I'm talking about Bommel teams or anything like that, if I'm doing a video on it, I'm always literally pointing videos from somebody else, you know, to go and check Crimson Helm, because I haven't done one and I'm not planning to do one ever, you know. So if anyone is interested, go and check that guy's video. He did a video on it, you know. I'm not gonna do it.
No, you're right.
Sweet. So I'm actually gonna pick one from this faction because I've built this champion too wrong. And we were actually talking on your channel because Coldbrew has this faction and he's such a beast. Deron Deal right now. I haven't built this champion for a very long time, and I was constantly getting comments. Skratch, try this champion, try this champion, try this champion. I was like, okay. And I'm already a massive fan of Alika, right? And this champion does a very similar thing with her, and I was like, oh wow. They're actually very, very similar in terms of damage. The A1 has a chance to land the freeze, pretty good damage with a double hit. But this skill right here is putting Legendary to shame, man. Legendary champions to shame, because this is an AoE attack with a 4.0 multiplier, similar with Foley, Astrolon, and all those champions. And this ignore 15% of the target's defense, man. Like, it's so important to ignore defense in the current meta with your nuker if you actually want to smack the opponent, you know? So, Deron Deal, guys, puts legendary heroes to shame. Trust me when I'm telling you that. He might look like, okay, but his base attack is a bit lower, his HP is not that great. All these nukers are squishy if they don't have an interesting passive. So I would use Deron Deal over Foley or Astrolon any day if I'm planning to do damage, you know. If I'm not thinking, okay, let me use the stun or let me just use the block revive. If I'm just going for that damage, he's just putting in so much work. And then the A3 attacks an enemy. Again, ignores defense. This hits for like 300-400k on a target on a decent build. Placing the perfect veil on himself to basically hide and then use the AoE or however you're planning to use him. Very, very solid champion. And honestly, I regret that it took me so long to build him, you know, because it's tons of fun and I am using the champion even in Faction Wars, you know.
Interesting. I actually must build him too. I still haven't built mine yet. I think I only pulled him recently. Yeah, I did. But I haven't built him yet. And my Dark Elf faction team is pretty dreadful. It's like Queen Eva.
Oh yeah. Take her out, bro. Take her out. You know,
it's fairly old. Yeah. So Deron Deal will have to come out. I think.
Take him out for play, yeah, because he's actually solid. It's not necessarily the best affinity against all those Valkyries, but he's still smacking them. You know.
Yeah. Nice. All right, let me go for one that, oh man, this is a different type of regret. I messed up the fusion regret, and it's very recent. Emic Trunkheart.
Okay.
So, the Emic Trunkheart fusion, like I wasn't really all that hyped up about him, to be honest. But like I was like, I'll do the fusion anyway, because of course I will. Why not? I did the whole fusion. literally the whole way through until the very, very end. And there was an artifact enhancement event that was running over the weekend. And I did 95% of what I needed for the artifact enhancement thing. And I was like, I'll finish it off tomorrow.
Oh.
And the weekend happened. And it was like busy. There's family stuff on, like the whole weekend is busy. I came back like on Monday and I was like, wait a second. I'm missing like 5 fragments for the last fire gun Isbell.
Oh, damn.
So I had to fire gun Isbell and I was missing whatever it was, 5 or 10 fragments. I was just sitting there for a few days praying they were going to sell some Isbell fragments in the shop and it didn't show up and I missed him. And I was really disappointed because like now I've seen people do some cool teams with them for like Phantom Shogun, where like he comes in, like you've got, I think I saw someone doing with a Renegade, I think a guy called Chubfort.
Yeah, I have something the same. I have with Renegade and him in the team. Coldheart and I do use Cardiel in mine because it's farming like 40 seconds. So I have Ninja, Cardiel, Coldheart, him, and Renegade. Yeah, so it's roughly 45 seconds. But it's interesting even for Arena, you know, because this stunt is very nice. And the passive, man, that's very interesting, you know, because when he's getting attacked, he's increasing the cooldowns of whoever attacks him, you know. So basically, you have the chance to keep that person locked for a long time, especially if you can lock him before with somebody else, you know.
Yeah. So, man, I'm sad hearing all of it. I want to hear he sucks. I don't want to hear he's good because I missed him. Oh, it's a disaster. But yeah, like so that was I felt really stupid about that one, missing him, and yeah, then I was like, oh, okay, I actually would have used him in a few places. Maybe I'll pull him one day. It could be a long time.
Right, so I'm gonna go to my next champion, and this is gonna be another regret, but a bad regret. So I had very high hopes for this champion too, and it's Gamoran, man. I don't know if you used him or not, if you tried him out, but he looked so amazing, right? Like he looked so dope, and his kit sounded so interesting, and I had all that idea. Okay, we can spread maybe the stone skin. That was still something new, and that was added to the game, you know. And I was like, man, he's gonna be such a beast. He's gonna do such an amazing job for Arena. We can do all these crazy strats, and then it is a pretty interesting skill because he attacks all enemies, has a chance to steal a buff, and then applies the buff spread effect, taking a random buff from himself and places it on all the allies, you know. So I was like, okay, fast stone skin is gonna spread out on everybody. He's gonna do a great job, and then this is pretty much everything in his kit that's interesting. You know, the A1 doesn't do much, has a chance to place block active skills. The A3 is a massive wall of attacks, but basically he can target dead allies. Now this skill right here can be good now against the Monkey King, you know, so he can have some utility now because you can just block his revive. If he's dead, you know, you can just target him and him basically. If he's alive, he's placing a True Fear, so that's not very powerful in Arena, especially that you can get polymorphed all the time and stuff. So he's one of those regrets where I build the champion and I'm like, yeah, I regret doing it because he's just not putting in any sort of work whatsoever, you know. The passive is not too crazy either. Will not revive an ally if an enemy is killed by damage from poison, HP burn, or bombs, you know, or from reflect damage. And I'm like, what? Why? You know, why? Why is that even a thing, you know?
Yep, definitely. Yeah, no, this is, I think he was a guaranteed as well, though it was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
That was too early for me, I think, to be able to, in the game, to be able to save up that many shards. But yeah, he's just not good. He'd be like near the top of my list for champions that they should buff because he is so like cool looking.
Yeah,
and
like
there's really unique ideas in his kit as well. Like there's interesting stuff. It's just really undertuned, you know.
100%, bro. Yeah.
So yeah, he's one. Hopefully, Plarium, come on, give him a buff.
Show him some love, you know. Give him some love. He's just waiting for it. Look at him.
Oh man, have you seen the bottom of his like dress, his robe? That's my favorite bit.
Yeah,
like
it looks sick, like the handprints and the thingy, whatever are called, these things coming out, like the, I don't know, whatever they're called. You know what I mean? You know, this bluish, darkish things coming out. Makes him look like super dark, you know, evil. Looks cool, you know.
Yeah, he is sick. All right, my next champion, actually my last one, I'll pick.
Bring it on. Is this a good regret or a bad regret? You know.
This is a good one. This is a good one. You probably remember him from the Hydra finals. It's Varl the Destroyer.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, this is a guy I obviously had him for a good while from Doom Tower, but I'd never got around to building him or using him before, and man, like he actually really impressed me. He's putting out in the Hydra finals we had.
He
Like
impressed me too, bro.
Yeah, he was basically he was like doing as much as a ninja. I was like, oh my god, this guy is absolutely slamming. So yeah, he's just a great champ. He's got the AOE decrease attack weaken, which is really weird and unusual. And then he's got his A3, ignoring defense. Smacks really hard. And then the passive is where a lot of that damage comes from. Very ninja-esque passive where it stacks up that attack. So it was really cool. Like the reason I even used him, I wasn't sure what his damage would be, but I was like, oh man, bringing decrease attack and weaken, that was something I needed from my team initially. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That goes in really well with like an Ugo or like a different decrease defense champ. But yeah, this guy he's a beast. Like the damage he puts out is actually really sneaky good.
Very strong. Yeah, I actually tested him in Clan Boss, and I tend to do these videos where I compare damage dealers, and it was actually top 5, bro. Like next to Turvold, Acrisia, Ninja. He was putting out some serious numbers. And the good thing is, guys, this is one of the very first champions that you're getting from the Doom Tower. If I'm not mistaken, it's part of the second batch rather than the third, right? Because we have around nine legendaries, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and I think
really good ones.
Yeah, we have a couple of good ones, and then we have lots of them that are not that great. But he's actually putting in definitely some serious work all around, man. So definitely pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, like you can see there, obviously as a Doom Tower champion, you got to be playing for a good while to get him, but only 178 reviews, and look how bad they are.
Like Demon Lord 3.3, like whoever rated him 3.3 is. They didn't try him, and even Hydra, like you showed him in Hydra. He was actually, I wasn't expecting him to do that work in Hydra, and it really caught me by surprise as well. But I definitely think he's a 4.5 in Hydra and a 5 in Clan Boss. Like if he's not a 5 in Demon Lord, like come on, dude, you're playing the wrong game. You're playing the wrong game.
Yeah, I agree. Like I understand people hating the Doom Tower legendaries because so many of them are absolute rubbish. But don't get Varl caught on that crossfire.
Yeah, this is not one of them. Yeah, and it's the same with Euros. Like Euros, the Soul Cage, he might not be amazing in much content, but for the Scarab, like he's the MVP. Like he's.
I use him. I use him for that. Yeah,
me too. Yeah.
So good.
It's just so good. Yeah, like there's no one else to do the job so good like him. And I actually have another champion that is free, and a lot of people used to hate on her, and I'm talking about Erix. So she is a daily login champion, guys. You're gonna start collecting fragments, I don't know, like 5 years. Once you're gonna start playing the game 5 years later, it takes a while to get to the part where you're collecting fragments for her. I was just being a bit sarcastic, guys. It doesn't really take you 5 years, but it takes you a long time. You can summon her from ancient shards. So if you get fortunate or unfortunate, depending how you're seeing the whole situation, to summon her from ancient shards, because I know she's a free champion. People don't want to summon free champions, right? She's actually putting in some serious work, man. Like so many people are using her in arena, in tag team arena, in live arena, and you can use her just generally to carry you around, even in waves in Doom Tower. Her reviews are actually fairly good, surprisingly, if you are comparing her with other champions that are free and are getting a lot of hate, But the A1 is an AoE attack, which makes her great to put in a bit of damage as well, has a chance to remove a random buff. The A2, again, is AoE, has a chance to place the stun, which is very nice. It's the best form of crowd control, basically. And the A3, ally protection on all your team and counter attack on herself, which is going to be on a 3-turn cooldown. So that can be pretty nice. But then the passive fills the champion's turn meter whenever an ally inflicts a critical hit, or she gets healed when the enemies inflict a critical hit, So she can self-heal a bit too, and put in some damage, man. Like I got caught by surprise one time and got my ass whooped in live arena at the beginning, by an Erix. I was like, seriously? I was like, and it took me a while to build her, and then I was like, okay, I gotta try her out. I gotta look a bit in her kit and see what she can do, because I knew she has decent multipliers from before, but I never really got to use her, because it took me a while as well to collect her with the fragments, and I know other people summon her, and that's how I knew that she can smack, but completely forgot about her, and damn, I was reminded for sure.
Yeah, she's so good. I think I think if you get her early on in the game from a shard, like you're super lucky. This champion's insanely good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so strong. Like if you think about Sylve the Drakes being nuts, like
Hmm.
with a low chance to stun, like you could build Erix as a support. That's how I thought. Like I totally underestimated her at the start. I figured, oh yeah, she'd be like okay for damage, probably like a support champion, and she's good at that. But yeah, like you said, you put her in damage gear and like A1, especially at the counterattacks, it
Yeah.
adds up. Like she pops out the AoE damage at a surprising rate. Yeah, she's great.
Yep, that's for sure, bro. But guys, that was everything for our regrets. Let us know in the comments down below what regrets you guys have. Good ones, bad ones. Because we do want to know. Let's see if we have actually some common regrets in here, because why not? How I mentioned, we already made a collab on Nap's channel. Make sure you guys head over and check it out. It's actually a video about Arena, and we're talking about the faction games. Pretty interesting stuff, because we are getting close to the final, and we are hoping to bring that trophy home for you guys and have all those crazy giveaways. Nabs, a pleasure to have you on the channel. If you had anything else, if you want to add anything else, sorry, please feel free to...
It's all good. I'm just looking at my light. There's a mosquito on my light. So I'm gonna go
bugging you off, huh?
Yeah. Oh my god, I regret moving here. I used to live in Dublin and there was no mosquitoes, and now I've moved out a bit more out into the country.
And they're everywhere, huh?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even know we had these in Ireland, but we do. Great.
Yeah, they are everywhere, bro. They're everywhere, you know. Same like
that's a regret.
But guys, we're gonna end it here. Appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.